The exercise for lesson 5 is a big exercise, and it's where it's all going to come together for us. So I'm going to walk you through each of these steps and kind of use some of the examples I've shared with you during the course to kind of see what it looks like and what it feels like to move through it. So the exercise is called Finding Wisdom and Meaning in the Delta. And the first opportunity you have is to just rewrite very quickly your SFD. What were the conspiracies and confabulations? Let's go back to the very first story I shared about presenting at HubSpot and seeing that tweet, what is at Brene Brown doing here at HubSpot? So what was my SFD? What were the conspiracies and confabulations that I made up in that moment? I'm not enough. I don't belong here. I'm not good enough to be here. And then the big shame. Shame has two voices, two messages. Who do you think you are? And you're not good enough. And my SFD definitely included both. Who do you think you are opening up this conference for 13,000 people on sales and marketing, and you're not good enough to be here? And the guy who tweeted it is a total jerk and deserves to be punished in front of a lot of people. This was my SFD. Remember our checklist, honest, not edited, barely shareable for me right now, uncomfortable. What insights and information did I learn from rumbling? So for me, this is a great example of a time where I did not stop and work this process. I just lucked out that it didn't end really badly, not just for me, but for this guy in the audience. But looking back and really doing kind of a back process on it, what insights and information I learned from rumbling. I am a fighter. And if you hurt me, when you back people into an emotional corner, one of three things can happen. These are what we call, for those of you who've done work with me around Daring Greatly, you'll recognize these are the shame shields. People disappear and hide, people please, or they come out swinging. The insight and information I learned from this rumble is I may try to people please my way out of it first. Because when you're in the green room getting ready to go on stage, there's nowhere to run. I may try to people please my way out first and try to figure out what to say to make myself feel like I belong more. But if I'm really backed into a corner and desperate, I will come out swinging and I will hurt anyone or anything in front of me to protect myself when I'm scared. And that makes me dangerous, and it takes me fully out of my integrity. So that was really what I learned from this rumble. The key learnings fall right out of there. When you're afraid and shame is happening, do nothing, because you're going to make bad choices. Because let me tell you how shame works for me. This is the key learning. Had I gone out and taken this guy down in front of everyone, my shame would have been tenfold what it was when I walked on the stage. Because now I don't think I belong there. And now I just engaged in a really horrible behavior that's outside of my authenticity. So the key learning for me, one, is when I call it fight energy. When I feel a lot of fight energy because I'm feeling attacked, I'm dangerous, don't do anything. Breathe your way through it and really make no sudden moves. The second key learning for me was back to what I learned from the rumble. I'm looking for connection sometimes because I feel alone in those green rooms, to be honest with you. Looking for connection doesn't happen off of social media. If I need connection in the green room from my phone, the 5 seconds before I go on, I'm going to text someone I love a note that says, hey, just thinking about you, love you. I'm not going to check social media because that doesn't smart. So what is my new story? How do I start writing my brave new ending? For me, I think really in this instance, my brave new ending is sharing this is what happened to me, and I'm sharing it as an example in a course that I'm teaching around a topic that I believe passionately in with my tribe, with all of you. And so my brave new ending is a hard situation that almost went terribly wrong has become a really powerful teaching tool, not just for me, but that I can use with you. And I can, that's my daring new ending. And it feels vulnerable and it feels uncomfortable because sometimes I slip into that place where I want to be the teacher that has their stuff all together, that's perfect, that has us all figured out. But that's not really who I am. I'm in this with you, learning every single day. So my brave new ending is I can turn something that was almost a disaster for me professionally and personally into a great lesson and share it with you so we can all learn something from it. Because I think we've all experienced a criticism that sent us into either fight mode or run away and hide mode. And that's not who we want to be when we're living brave. The last set of questions on this worksheet, and it's a big, healthy worksheet. I mean, I like to call this the revolutionary worksheet right here. List 2 ways that you're going to integrate your key learnings from the Delta into your life. Well, what I can tell you, since I'm working on something past tense, is I'm already doing this. I'm going to share this tidbit with you. We're not talking about shame as much in here, but part of any revolution should be shame resilience. So one of the first cohorts of women that I interviewed around shame, like 13 years ago, there was a woman named Caroline. And I followed up with her 4 years after her first interview to find out how the shame resilience tools were working in her life, these tools that I found that people use to be shame resilient, recognizing shame, naming it, talking about it. And so when I was doing the second interview with her, she said, I got to tell you that I've developed this really crazy pattern and habit that really helps me when I'm in shame. And I was like, oh, tell me about it. And she said, whenever shame happens to me, whenever that wash comes over me where I don't feel like I'm enough, I go like this: pain, 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 pain. And I was like, oh my God, that is the smartest thing I've ever heard of. Because when we're in shame, the second I read that tweet at HubSpot, this comes offline. Our thinking, rationalizing prefrontal cortex, that executive center, gone. What comes to life? We get hijacked by the limbic system, fight or flight. And you know what she was doing, not even knowing she was doing it? She was naming what she was feeling, which brings back on this thinking part of your brain. So one of the ways I also integrate the HubSpot experience into my life is that when I read criticism or see something that's really painful, I actually say to myself, pain, 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 pain. Or sometimes the PG version would be, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. Not to me, but to the person who said it. I'm just trying to get back on my feet before I do anything. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this revolutionary exercise, finding wisdom and meaning in the Delta, and I want you to talk about very quickly, what was your SFD? What insights and information did you learn from the Rumble? What was it that you were acting? Those 4 questions. What were you actually feeling? Did you play a part? What did you need to learn about the situation? What was factual? What wasn't? What are your key learnings when you compare that SFD to what you learned in the Rumble? What's your new story? How are you starting to write that? And then a couple of ways you're going to integrate those learnings into your lives. One thing I want to tell you is this is not a one-time worksheet. This is print this sucker out 400 times. And one really important thing to remember is this is not the key learnings. These are not the new story. This is not the Delta for every fall. Every fall requires a new working of this process, a new identifying the SFD, new rumbling. Remember that big graphic we had with all those emotions on it? Maybe this, for me, HubSpot was about belonging, about shame, about some anxiety, but other rumblings are around different things. So this is what you work every single time in the process. So spend some time with this. This is your payoff. This is where this process can become revolutionary in your life, where it can change the way you live, the way you love, the way you parent, and the way you lead. This is the process. Same process, every corner of your life. Take some time with it because you're in. This is why you're here. This is why we're here, to do the work.